So we are on week 5 of 260 of becoming a CEO. So what I'm doing is each week I'm creating a journal. Oh man, there's someone running in the snow. Hey, she was hardcore. She was way hardcore. Dang it, that sounded so weird. Hey, oh my gosh. Okay. I keep going over the same part. So good morning, or afternoon, or evening, or whenever you are watching this. We're on week 5 of 260 to become a CEO. So each week I'm uploading a new video of the things that I've learned from the week before. I'm going to talk about the things that I do so that I am continually learning. My growth period is in a really short period of time. I've got 260 weeks to become CEO. That is so much information and expertise and experience all crammed into 260 weeks. So I have to be able to learn at a fast speed. And so what I'm going to do today is go through the 4 things that I've put in place and that I do so that I'm continually learning and learning at a rapid pace. So out of the 4 things, the first one, and I'm going to go into these deeper, the first one is keeping my mind always engaged so that when I come across information, it's primed. The second one is learning how to go deeper into information, reading books, reading data, reading analytics and reports. This helps me dig deeper into issues. The third one, I'm doing my fingers so weird. The third one is talking to a mentor about that subject, asking questions and digging deeper. And then the fourth one is being able to teach someone else. So now I'm going to go deeper into those subjects. So number one, it's probably the easiest one to do. So by keeping your mind engaged, you are always staying at this level to where you're curious about everything. I find that if I'm in too many fantasy books for a long period of time, because I love fantasy books, or if I'm watching too much TV, or if I'm getting off to where my mind isn't engaging in more of the learning zone or the learning function, then when information's coming in, it's almost like it slides past easier. But if I'm engaging in stories about business, or if I'm reading reports or magazines, then when information comes in, it seems to absorb a little bit better. Podcasts is one of the most convenient ways to keep your mind engaged. I love, there's a couple of these podcasts that I absolutely love. So you can see my list here. But How I Built This by Guy Raz, this is one that is very entertaining when I'm getting ready in the morning or I'm driving to work. What it is you're learning about a company. You're either learning how it started or made a change, or what the culture is, or the business operations. And so as you're learning in a story form from another company, you're starting to internalize different themes or choices, and it absorbs a little bit more. So if they are talking about culture, you're now reflecting on your culture in a way that isn't super intense or super focused. Or they start talking about their product development. So now I'm starting to think about our product development and how that's working. So what it's doing is my mind is staying engaged at a higher level, so that when I come across or someone asks a question on product development or culture, I now have a framework of what other companies are doing. What I also do is, on keeping my brain engaged, is I read articles. Articles are fantastic because it takes you, 5-10 minutes if it's long, but it's a way that you're able to get a lot of information in a short period of time. So the Harvard Business Review is my favorite because it gets in and you get the why on things. You get the data and the analytics and the system and the strategy. And most of the other magazines that I've read or am reading just don't go as deep as a Harvard Business Review. Number two is going deeper. It's reading books, it's reading reports, it's getting into the data of things. So because you've kept it engaged, your brain engaged over here, now when you read a book, you're able to go into a deeper level and your brain is ready for it. So when I read books, I go a little crazy, but I really try to internalize the information. So if you look at this book right here, let's see, where's the front? So when you go into this book, I start pulling out tons of information. So I'm trying to get as much knowledge as I can from here. And I'll read it section by section to make sure that I really understand. You know, how can I implement this? What information is most relevant to me? What information can I take and roll into other meetings or other departments or other leaders within the company? So I have a very specific way to going through and learning and reading through books. Is I keep 3 highlighters. I keep my yellow, my blue, and my pink. And everything that's highlighted is highlighted for a specific purpose. So if it is yellow, I go through, and you can see here, yellow is general information that I want to remember. Pink is questions that I have. So if I'm reading through something and I need to analyze it and I've got a question about it, I do it in pink so I can come back. And blue is action. Okay, this is good information. So this is something that I need to implement. So as I'm going through a book in my head, I'm starting to categorize where the information should go. And I start putting it into different folders. So if it's an action, I start putting it into the folder in my head saying, okay, Tania, think about this. Where can you implement this? How can you implement this? And it gets me thinking in a system way. The questions, by understanding that I've got a question about it, it helps me open up to more research and to asking other people. So by reading books, I'm able to go in at a deeper level. So after I've gone through keeping my mind engaged with stories and with general articles, I go in deeper into books, and then I start categorizing it. And then my third one is I start asking people. So I'll find someone that has a deep knowledge of it, and I will ask them questions. So right now, I'm really learning on the finance side of the business. So this is where Jeff, my dad, sat me down and broke down our P&L and helped me understand what the percentages are, what our trends are, how to equate those formulas, and what it means for the business in the short term and the long term. So you can see from this video that he's walking me through, and I'm able to get his perspective on it so that in the future I can then do it.
It's year to date. So I just look at everything year to date. Okay, so I look at my months. I have my months individually, but my comparison is a year to date percentages, because that's taken, because months go up and down, and they're just little snapshots. I'm taking a panorama and getting the whole view, if that makes sense, and saying, okay, I'm looking at the whole picture up through October, because I know that November slows down. I know that sometimes we write things off in December, that, you know, we're kind of doing different things like that.
So before I did this, I was reading articles, I was reading books on what it meant, and then I was able to ask questions and he was able to show me. So I do that with all different types of subjects. So if there's someone that I know that is really good at product development, then I get all of my ideas together and I get all of my questions and anything that I'm curious about, and then I go and talk to the person, and I'm just picking through their mind and saying, okay, what would you do with this? Why was yours successful here? Why didn't yours work here? And then I'm able to bring everything together. And then the fourth one is teaching someone else. So when you teach someone else, you have to take this information at a very complex level, because now you've read about it, you know data, you've got questions, you've got all of this information that's rattling around in your head that's hard to spew all out. Really knowing a subject or really understanding it well, so you're able to take this massive knowledge and then put it down to where you could explain it to an 8-year-old. So by explaining it to an 8-year-old, you get to the core of the knowledge. You get to the things that are really important. You start to take out all of the minutia things and you boil it down to the information that's essential to moving forward. And then as you're talking with them, you can start to pull in other pieces. But if you can understand the core and you can take all of this stuff from up here and bring it down, that's when you really know That's when you can really teach what it is and then move on to the next thing you're learning. So I find it super energizing and exciting. This is okay, out of all of these different things, this is one of the best parts of my job, is the learning, is your brain is constantly expanding. It's like, you know, when you've done a really good workout and your muscles kind of hurt, but you feel so good? That's what learning feels like. It's like, okay, I got in, I know this subject, it was so cool, we can now innovate and create something new. And it's because I'm continually learning that I get this excitement and this joy. And that's what makes some of the tough times better, because you get so inspired by the things that you're bringing in and you're learning. For reals, if you have any suggestions on books that I need to read or articles or podcasts, put them in the comments, because I'm wanting to expand my knowledge fast and I'm needing to get different resources. So anything that you have that you think would be fantastic for me to learn, write them in the comments, and it would be so great. Also, if you want to see each week, hit the subscribe button that's down below the video. And if you want to be alerted when I post something, hit the little bell that's next to the subscribe button. And then each week, you'll get notified when I post a video. So, okay, that's it.